Dinky Dana here. This video I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to make YouTube videos. I've been putting up video game reviews for probably 4 years now, and in this video I'm just going to go over the details of what capture devices I've used, which one I'm using now. I get a lot of people asking, what do you use to capture all your footage? So in this video, anybody who's thinking about capturing video game footage and putting up YouTube videos, I'm going to go over all the details. Now, back in 2009, I started putting up video game reviews and I didn't know anything about it. So the first thing that I picked up is this K-World capture device, and it's almost identical to a really cheap capture device that's all over eBay. It's called EasyCap, and you could pick this basically up for $9, I think it was back then. Now it's between $9 and $15. It's super cheap. The only thing is it only has the regular RCA cables, so it has the S-video, but you can capture old school games, Nintendo games, things like that, Super Nintendo, really well on this thing. It works well. I've used it a lot. It's not going to be HD or anything like that, but for the price, it's definitely worth it if you're looking to just start out. Definitely go with this one. The next one that I got was an HD PVR, and I picked up this Hauppauge HD PVR. I got this about 2 years ago, and I liked it at the time. It was pretty nice. I was finally happy to be able to record decent footage, and this is basically the device right here. It's pretty big. It almost looks like a console itself, and I'm going to go into more detail. I'm going to take the camera and show you the details for all the plugs and the inputs so you guys can compare. Now, there is a new version of this out now, and it's a little bit cheaper. I think it costs about $130, $140 on eBay. And it's fairly expensive, but it's for HD. The new one now has HDMI. The one I used did not. So I can't exactly speak for the newer one that's out. But to be honest, I didn't really enjoy this thing overall. I brought it back home and I didn't know a ton about it, so I bought it. And it said that it would play HD games and I could, plug in all my old consoles. I brought it back, plugged in PS2, Sega Saturn, Super Nintendo games. This thing would not capture them. I don't know what the deal was, but before this generation, it can't capture basically anything. It lags up, it won't even capture the footage. So I was really disappointed that I spent all the money on this thing. I'm pretty sure that the newer version has the same issue. So if you're looking to only capture current gen games, this is going to work fine. But if you're like me and you want to put up old school games, Super Nintendo, things like that, I would not recommend this one. Now, another problem that I had with this is just about a month ago, I moved over to my new apartment and I went to hook this up, and I plugged in a power supply that had more voltage than what this could handle. This is 5 volt DC, and I plugged in, I don't know what the adapter that I had, the plug fit perfectly. I plugged it in and it just fried it. There's no fuse protection. You plug in a wrong adapter and this thing just blows, just blew up. So unfortunately, I can't use this one anymore. I looked inside, tried to figure it out. I probably could return it to him for maybe like 50-something bucks, but I was kind of venting. I wanted to smack this thing off the ground after it broke. But I was venting and I, put up a message on Twitter, and one of my YouTube friends, she did a review on this capture device, and I'm going to put a link to that in the description. She did a really good job. But the capture device is made by Elgato, and this thing is awesome. I got it in the mail. Well, first of all, it cost about $170, I think I got it for on Amazon. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Hauppauge one. But honestly, I love the thing. First of all, it's tiny, it's really small, it captures crystal clear 1080p HD quality, and also you can capture old school games. I'm going to show in this video, I'm going to put up some footage of Xbox 360. I was playing BioShock Infinite. I'm going to show you some of that footage, and then I'm also going to show you some Earthbound footage, and this thing just captures everything really easily. I'll show you a little bit of the interface. This is what I would recommend if you're trying to capture new gen games, HD games, even old school games if you don't mind spending the money on it. So right now I'm going to give you a close-up on some of the input and output so you know what's going on. Make sure you can hook it up right and everything. And then I'm going to show you some footage and show you how the software works. It's really easy. So let's take a look. So taking a closer look at these, the first thing that you can notice is the Elgato is so much smaller. I don't know why the Hauppauge one is so big. Obviously it doesn't need to be, but I'll show you a little bit about that. I can't really go into a ton of detail on this because if you're buying a new Hauppauge, it's going to have HDMI in, so you won't have to deal with all these cables here. But I didn't really like the Hauppauge. I wouldn't really recommend getting the new one, so I'm going to show you all the details on this Elgato Game Capture HD. So on the one side here, you have the HDMI in and the AV in. So that's where your consoles would go in. You could plug in the HDMI for modern gen consoles, and then for the older consoles it has this adapter plug here where you plug that into the AV in, and then it has the composite, and if you're using red, white, and yellow, you just plug the yellow into the red and use the audio like normal. So it's really easy to hook up all the consoles. And then on the output, it has a USB, a mini USB that'll just go into your computer. That's how it captures. And then you could take this HDMI out into your TV or monitor or whatever you're going to watch your game on. So not too many details that you really need to look at on this. It's super small, it's really nice, and next I'll show you what the software looks like and show you some gameplay. So here's the software that it uses. It's called Game Capture HD. When you get the device, you just go onto their website, download this software, and it'll download real quick. It's really easy to install. And I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on this actual software because literally it is super easy to use. The only thing you really have to do is there's a settings button over here. You choose what your input device is, what input, and what quality, 1080p, 720p, and you can change the quality here. And you can switch it for different consoles. And if you're trying to capture Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PS2, older things like that, you just go down to Other here, and it'll give you the option. You can either use composite, or you can use that adapter that I showed earlier in this video, which is what I did. I'll show you some footage from Super Nintendo Earthbound. I was really impressed with the quality for the older consoles. I really like it, so I'm going to show you that. We'll switch it back to Xbox 360 here. You could change other settings like picture, audio, stuff like that, but that's pretty standard. So to record, basically all you do is you set the audio level. When there's a lot of audio, it'll go up to yellow here, and then it'll get to red. If you ever see red, that means that it's going to be too loud. It might crackle or pop. So you just change the audio volume, and then to record, all you have to do is hit the button, and you'll see the timer starts up, and it just starts recording. It's super easy. If you want to do live commentary and streaming, you could set up a microphone here, and it'll capture both the gameplay and also your microphone, so you don't have to use another software to, blend them together and stuff like that. But that's all there is to it. I mean, it's recording the footage right now, so I'm going to go through and I'll show you some of the BioShock footage. So let's take a look. Next, I'll show you some footage from the Super Nintendo game Earthbound. I hope this video might help some of you out. If you're thinking about putting up YouTube videos and weren't really sure what device to use to capture your footage, I highly recommend this Elgato HD capture device. I really enjoy it. Hopefully you liked seeing the footage. It's obviously very clear. And I don't know, if you guys are thinking about putting up videos, you can write me a message, ask me questions about this or any of the other devices. I'll answer it. And hope some of you guys start putting up YouTube videos and capturing some gameplay. But as always, I'm Dinky Dana, and thanks for watching. for probably 4 years. I think it was 2009 I started my channel, and the first video, son of a bitch,